I'm Barry Brown, and I do this thing called Barry Brown Creative, which is cutting things. I like to cut things like paper and pumpkins. That's what I do. So when I was a little kid, my dad was an auctioneer, and he had an auction in Boulder for a print house that was going out of business. And so at the end of the auction, there was these stacks of paper left over, and he just put them in the truck and brought them back home. And I was thrilled because I had so much paper to play with. That was kind of the start. It's like I just had endless stacks of free thrown away paper that I could do anything with. And I really did anything with it. I built puppet theaters and puppets and I don't know what else, just cars and gifts and just everything I could think of. I first heard about the paper fashion show because I was working with a client who was doing their 40th anniversary, and they asked me to create a sculpture that represented fashion, which was one of the things that they loved, and to try to represent it in 4 decades. And I had this idea that I could make a dress out of magazine covers. And so I got online to try to figure out, what the magazine covers would be and if there was anything else that was out there. And so I came across the Denver Paper Fashion Show and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And it's right here in Denver. But it was so crazy for me to be in this event that I'd never been in before. I don't know anything about fashion or fashion shows and stuff. And I just made this thing out of paper. And they had us stay late after the show, and I didn't understand why. And eventually it was because they gave us first place in this fashion show. When I first got into the paper fashion show, I was just messing with paper. But now that I've been in for 4 or 5 years, and I've met people from the paper mills and heard their stories, it's amazing to listen to the stories of the people from the paper mills and what they think about manufacturing paper, and then what other people do with that paper. It's really kind of almost sacred that they know the names of these papers and the textures and how they are affected by light and stuff like that. And so to combine that with making a design that a person walks down a runway with just tells so much more story about it. To hear for the last several years that this paper fashion show is benefiting these kids at this art center, I was really pleased to get to be a part of that to help out kids. But this year specifically, they let me come and work with the kids a little bit on their designs. And it was so amazing to see just rooms full of kids that were excited and interesting. So when I got to go to Dava to talk to the kids, I kind of showed them pictures of the things that I've made and some of the processes about how I made it. And this thing about how do you turn a flat piece of paper into something that somebody can wear? It was really fun to explore that with these kids. And then to learn that it's the nation's largest paper fashion show here in Denver, and for the club to have transitioned into the One Club for Creativity, which is now an international club. It seems like there's some little pins sticking in the Denver map right now. There are people that know the Denver Paper Fashion Show in California and in Las Vegas and in Washington, D.C. and in New York. And they fly out to the Denver Paper Fashion Show to see this because it's so important to their industry. So it's really fun to get to be involved here in Denver, that it seems like it's kind of having this ripple effect across the nation.